This segment is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.
Everybody, welcome into By Time. Harry McCullough here. It's time to check in on the highways and byways around our area. And for that, Ross Brennan is Sergeant with Louisiana State Police. You're now Region 2 Public Information Supervisor. So congratulations on the new gig.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So you're now covering, I guess, from Troop C all the way to the state line in Texas?
Yeah. So 3 troops, C, I, and D. So yeah, big area out there. So, but yeah.
Hey, you signed up to be on the highways, right? So you're running them right now, and I'm just joking, but congratulations on the new job. Let's talk about a couple of investigations. They're not a joking matter. We had 2 fatal crashes on Friday night. So can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so Troop C on Friday, June 13th, we've investigated 2 fatal crashes in Lafourche Parish within an hour of each other. So the first one happened around 2 p.m. It was on Highway 182 and Highway 307, kind of by the Raceland Sugar Mill out there. So our preliminary investigation found that there was a westbound F-150 that was traveling behind another vehicle. And then at the same time, there was a vehicle stopped on Highway 307 at the stop sign there, wanting to make a left turn on the 182. And for reasons still under investigation, the driver in the F-150, as the car that he was traveling behind began to slow down and turn right onto 307. He attempted to pass that vehicle while in the intersection. At the same time, the car that was stopped on 307 made its left turn, and they collided with each other. Unfortunately, in that crash, the passenger was injured. They were transported to a nearby hospital where they later succumbed to their injuries. So that was the first one that we investigated. And shortly after, there was another one down on LA1 near Grand Isle. So that one there happened around 3 p.m. There was a pedestrian that was on the southbound shoulder of the highway. At the same time, there was a truck pulling a boat trailer that was also traveling south on the road. And again, for reasons that we're still determining, a tire actually came off the boat's trailer, went down on the shoulder, and struck the pedestrian that was standing there. So he sustained pretty critical injuries, was transported to a hospital down there, where again, he ultimately succumbed to his injuries.
And you said these happen very close in time, and we're talking about 2 p.m. So this is not 2 a.m. This is 2 p.m. So daylight time most of the time.
Yeah, in the afternoon.
So that's so strange that a tire just comes off a vehicle. Now look, we've all seen boats on the side of the road, right?
Yeah.
First time I'm gonna use it this year, you might not have enough lube on those tires.
Yeah.
Things get overheated, and one could, but to think that somebody fishing could just get hit by a tire.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good reminder too. Like you said, summer's coming up. A lot of people are going to be maybe going on trips that they haven't brought the boat out for a while or whatever it might be. Just double check that maintenance. Check those axles. Make sure that they're properly greased up. Make sure that those lug nuts are properly tightened. Make sure the tires are good on there. They're not dry, rather cracked. And also, people inside the road. We see a lot of people that are out there fishing on the shoulders, in the bayous, wherever it might be. And we also see that people, whenever they park their vehicles, sometimes they park a little close to the roadway. So you might have a situation where somebody needs to take a evasive action to avoid a crash, and your car's parked there, or maybe you shouldn't be driving distracted or whatever it might be, drowsy or impaired, but that still is something that they can possibly collide in on the shoulder. So maybe think about where you're parking your vehicle, give some motorist space on the highway. Think about too where you're standing. This might be a good idea not to have your back towards traffic, maybe kind of angle yourself where you can still see where you're fishing, but also maybe any hazards that might be coming your way. So again, just kind of be maybe smart out there. We got a lot of traffic on the roadways, especially with summertime, schools out, kids out, family vacations, whatever it might be. I think it's just a good time to, at the beginning of the summer, make sure that those trailers and stuff, boats, jet skis, whatever it might be, campers, is properly, because even think about it too, you're going down the roadway, you don't want to be stuck getting to your destination from a blowout or mechanical failure or whatever it is, right? It's expensive to get it fixed, towed, whatever it goes along with it. So just take a few minutes.
This is the time, right? This is when people are going to make those trips and use that RV that's been sitting up, or use that fifth wheeler, or use that boat. So yeah, a lot of times yeah, your maintenance may go, no, I think we're good to go, but yeah, it probably wouldn't hurt to go to a professional either. And, a lot of times you'll go make sure the oil's changed, the tire pressure and all those kind of things. Probably do the same thing with those boats as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Look, even with boat and safety, this is more wildlife and fisheries, but it's good for everybody here again, is that make sure there's enough life jackets for everybody. You can get a DWI on the boat just like you can get on the car, right? So you go out on the lake or the waters, you drink some alcohol out there, you can get a DWI, not just on the road, but also out on the boat. It's the same charges with that. So just be smart again in those situations.
This is also a time, unfortunately, that they have to do a lot of road construction, right? Because it needs to be warmer. And so this is also a time where you're going to have cones in the highway that are going to go down to one lane or those kind of things. You're going to have construction workers out there. You're also going to have some really bad thunderstorms that can happen at this time. I know when you're driving along I-12, sometimes, you get the Gulf moisture that hits that could really come up with a real tough thunderstorms. It's also very important to slow down and make sure properly when you're on the highway.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. You want to give yourself enough following distance between you and that car in front. That way, if they have to suddenly brake, you're able to brake also, not slide into the back of them. And also hydroplaning. A lot of times that rain hits that roadway in those strong thunderstorms in the evening that, there can be some standing water. So make sure, again, while you're checking your trailers or whatever, also check your vehicles. Make sure that you have enough tire tread that's adequate. That way, you don't spin out. And also, like you said, slow that speed down too. The speed limit's there for whenever the conditions are good. So dry, clear weather. If it starts raining, you got to back that speed down a little bit. Right. Even if you got good tires, going too fast, you can still hydroplane.
Yeah, no doubt. We made a trip not long ago, and it took a long time because of those type of things. Ross Brennan, thanks so much for the update. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back with more Bayou Time right after this.
This segment was brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke. Know your rights.